Hello Taurus, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of February 12 through 18. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to, connect directly with each card and use your own intuition to take you beyond the things that I'm telling you, okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is the Two of Swords. So let's put that into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. I feel like you're the type of person, Taurus, and I think I've said this about you before, that you don't hesitate. You make a decision and you commit to it. You don't like conflict, you know what I mean? You don't like to disagree. You don't like to have this kind of friction with people. But you're certainly not going to let people change your mind easily. You're not just going to try to appease everyone and kind of acquiesce to their will, right? You're going to commit. If you make a decision, you stick to it. And I don't think you hesitate. I don't think you're someone that has to spend a lot of time debating and deciding things. I think you have such a connection with your spirit that you make decisions quickly. Okay. Now, let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use the Rider-Waite-Smith and give it a quick shuffle. This is pre-shuffled, but we're going to do something random anyway. We're going to leave it right there. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading, so stick around. And hopefully that will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end. Okay? So, there's something going on with a group of people in your life. Let's continue with this Two of Swords for a moment. Again, you're someone who's very, very decisive. Very quick to make a decision, and when you make that decision, you stick to it. So something's going on this week. This is the Nine of Wands. And you have to excuse me, I have a head cold today, so I apologize if I sound congested. It's just because, well, I am. But we're going to try to make it through this, okay? You might have a lot of overhead shots while so the Nine of Wands. Something's going to come along this week that's going to test your resolve, right? You've made a decision about something, but that's going to be challenged and tested. Are you going to stick to your guns, or are you going to waffle, right? I feel like you have such a connection with Spirit, like I said, that you make decisions quickly, and you tend to stick to those decisions. You don't need a lot of time for debate. You really don't like debate, right? The Two of Swords here, this is peace. This is just like, you don't want to have the discussion. You're so confident in your own spiritual connection, your own will, your own conscience, your own higher self, that you don't need a lot of discussion and debate about things. You know what I mean? You know what the right thing is to do for you in your life, and the decisions that you are making, the aspects of life that you're in control of. You don't need a lot of discussion, and you don't want people to come in and try to convince you otherwise. But I feel like that's what's going to happen this week. Someone is going to test something, maybe some event is going to test the decision that you've made, okay? And that's the Nine of Wands here. This is the card about strength, inner resolve. How committed are you to this decision that you've made, okay? What is this decision involving? Well, we've got this Justice or Adjustment card here at the top. This is representing some of your energy. I think you're someone that believes in fairness. We've got, with this Two of Swords, we've got this idea of balance, right? And you know what else? Look on the overhead camera here, and I'll show you this. We've got the Two of Swords, we've got the Justice, right? The two scales, the balance, and we've got the Two of Discs down here. So I feel like it's all about balance, right? And then in the past, we've got the Eight of Cups. Future, we have Seven of Swords. So it's balance, imbalance. You're focused on the balance. You want this. You want the fairness. You want the balance, the harmony. You want things to be just. You know what I mean? It's like you don't expect to get anything for free, you don't expect there to not be consequences for action. So I feel like someone has wronged you in some way. And you feel like the universe has to restore the balance. You feel like there has to be a kind of karmic justice going on, right? So whatever decision you've made, you feel like you're doing the right thing because that's how the balance is restored, right? Because you're someone that really needs to have that harmony and balance and that fairness, that equivalence, you know? It's like for every negative, you have to have a positive to balance things out, you know? Every loss, you're going to try to have a gain. Every gain, there's going to be some giving out. Okay, so there's this real balance. It's like the equation always equals zero for you. It's always just really even, really balanced. I'm getting this feeling like it's a unity for you. It's like a way for you to stay in this this kind of healthy, wholesome, unified, almost like a spiritual state, almost like a Zen-like state for you, you know? And despite, we have, you know, these twos, this idea of balance. So there's always black and white. There's always positive and negative. There's always up and down. There's always joy and sorrow. But you try to stay right in the middle, like with this Zen-like kind of attitude, you know? So I'm almost getting a business kind of feel, like or like a professional kind of feeling from this one. It's like the joy and sorrow of life, the positive and negative experiences, the light and the darkness are all just kind of matter of, they're just a business for you. It's like, not that you're not emotionally invested, because I think you are, even though it's not really showing up in these cards. If you look, there's some water in the past that we're going to get to, but otherwise, it's all, none of these are the water cards until we get to the end, but I don't want to talk about that yet. Kind of, the past is water and the future is water, but right now it's just all business. It's almost like someone has disappointed you or wronged you, and you are trying to not let it bother you. You're trying to remain balanced in the center, in this Zen-like, stoic almost kind of state, like this figure might appear. And you're trying to just do the thing that, you know, logically, karmically, reasonably, ethically, whatever, is the right thing to do. So you've made your decision because that's what the universe requires. That's what should be done in this situation. Okay. But it has a very, like, detached feeling to it with this justice or adjustment card. I feel like there's really this sense of just this kind of professional business stoic kind of feeling to it. Beneath everything is this Two of Pentacles that we were talking about. This again is your ability to look at positive and negative as just two different entries in your ledger, right? In your checkbook or something. And it's you know, it's just maybe a way for you to work off your karma too. Like maybe you look at it as something that is necessary for you, like this is your journey. And you have to remain in this balanced state, right? Because you're trying to work off this, maybe this past karma, or you're trying to prevent new karma from forming. So anytime there's a negative, you have to counterbalance it with a positive and vice versa. And that's why I think in the past with this negative event or this disappointment or someone that wronged you, this feels like it's a emotional situation for you. I don't know that it's a romantic situation for you. It could be something that happened at the workplace or in terms of a larger group of people, right? There's one court card here, but it's not what we're really looking for as far as finding out the exact other person involved. It could be a disappointment or being wronged by this group, by this company, by this organization. Because we have this Hierophant card over here, and I don't want to get too into that Hierophant card just yet, because we have a lot more, you know, to get to in between. But with the Eight of Cups here, there was definitely somebody has like drained half of this love and water energy out of you. Okay, so something happened in the recent past, maybe involving water. I don't know if this organization you're involved in has some kind of water aspect to it, or if it's just more about the emotional involvement that you have with this group. But you've been wronged in some way. You've been offended or disrespected by that group. Okay, and the decision that you've made this week is kind of the what you feel like is the divine justice, is the kind of the karmic requirement because of what happened. But you're trying to remain unaffected by it, even though it was an emotional situation for you. You were hurt, you know. But you're going into this week with this decision, and it's final. It feels very formal, very matter of fact, and very professional and businesslike. It's almost like you're trying to cut off that feeling. You're trying not to feel so hurt by it. And you're just taking it as a matter of course and doing what needs to be done, and that's it. In the immediate future with this Seven of Swords, I feel like this is all the efforts to change your mind. Okay, now you're going to be that central sword. You're remaining steadfast like the central sword here with the Justice card. You're not going to waver like the central pillar on this card even. You're not going to waver in your decision, though people are going to try to change your mind. And all of these little swords could be the different members of the group trying to all convince you to change your mind, to go back on your decision, to decide something else. Because whatever this is, obviously, is not in their favor. So they're going to really try different ways to convince you. And so it is a test of how much resolve you have. Can you remain this central sword that we see here, and we see the equivalent symbol in that 9 of Wands? So it's going to be kind of like a test of your resolve, basically. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of efforts made on the part of this group of people to convince you to change your mind. Okay. Now we're going to go to the path of the Serpent. The first thing we see, general energy. You're someone that's very generous. This Princess of Pentacles, you're a very forgiving person. You're going to kind of choose the situation that is going to be the most productive, the most beneficial for everyone. That's going to lead to the most greatest success and abundance. So even if you get your feelings hurt and someone wrongs you, you feel disrespected, normally, under normal circumstances, you would let that go if it meant that you could continue with this success. Okay? Your feelings kind of come second priority to the overall success of what this thing is, whatever group this is, if it's your company, a business that you're in, your employment, if it's a family situation, if it's a church, a temple, a lodge, an order, some kind of a charitable or community organization, so long as the group can continue functioning and producing what it is designed to produce, you can ignore the slight against you or the disrespect or the feelings that you have about it, your hurt feelings, you know, generally. But for some reason this week, you're a little bit more inclined to make the kind of karmically correct decision, even if it means that this production is going to slow or come to a stop. That's unfortunate, but with this Princess of Pentacles, this is an energy that's pregnant with possibilities. Doesn't mean those possibilities are actually going to be born into reality. So this is you with the ability now to kind of put a stop to the progress, to the functioning of that group. And you feel like it's your kind of karmic responsibility to make this decision. And whatever decision you're making is going to threaten the production of this organization, this group, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have the power to prevent this birth, okay, or withhold it or delay it with your decision. And it could be that's kind of part of the deal, is that you've made this decision, and until this group or whoever's involved correct the situation or restore the balance through their efforts, you're going to withhold this production. Do you know what I mean? And the Hierophant card, this is that group of people, and this is, I feel like I don't feel like it's so much a workplace, like maybe it's a nonprofit kind of thing, or a volunteer thing, or it's like a church or a temple or a charitable organization, community organization. I don't feel like this is just your employment. This isn't just the job that you have for money, okay? I feel like this is a larger group of people that's involved in some kind of charitable work or community work, or like a church or something like that. But not just like your employment, okay? It could be that you're employed there, but the purpose of the business, the purpose of that group is more of the community or charitable kind of thing, right? So it's not just your job for money, is what I'm trying to say. The next card is this Ten of Wands. This is in position of your fears, worries, and concerns. I think that, you've got this nearly infinite will to hold out, to keep to your decision and keep this resolve. But I feel like eventually you're kind of worried that they're going to wear you down. Like you're not too sure how long you can hold out. So it's almost like there's a stalemate going on. Who can break first? Who's going to kind of give up first? Okay. With the 10 here, I feel like you could really probably hold out a long time. And this could be because you have just an infinite willpower, or you've got financial resources that can kind of carry you through while this production has stopped, or whatever's going on with the production, whatever this group of people actually does, if it's a charitable thing or whatever. I feel like you can hold out a long time, but you're kind of concerned that, well, maybe they can too, right? So it feels like that stalemate, and it feels like eventually the fire energy, what we call the resolve here in this 9, is going to reach its limit here in the 10. All right, and so we have to be ready for, to acquiesce maybe if we need to, because eventually this is going to run its course, and someone's going to have to kind of give. And now, if you hold out long enough, and maybe this group, they learn their lesson, they make the reparations, or they restore the balance in some way, and they fix this situation, then it'll work out well. But with the 10 of Wands, it really is a risky situation for you, because you really could be draining yourself of your vitality or your resources, or some kind of energy, or even money, or something like, or your health even. So it's a finite amount of time that you can kind of hold out while you wait for them to fix this. Okay. So I think the card's there because you kind of know that it's not something that this stalemate can't last forever. What we see at the very end of the Path of the Serpent is this Ace of Cups. This is saying that there's going to be a really wonderful outcome here. Now, if you look at these cards, we started over here with the Eight of Cups, right? The kind of, those were your hurt feelings, the insult, the disrespect, whatever that happened in the past that led to this situation now. And then going through all of this work, we're led right back here to this emotional state, right? This is really like a really pleasurable outcome. I think it's going to have a really wonderful conclusion. And I wonder what this is. I feel like everyone's going to be kind of laughing about this at the end. Okay. And I don't know, honestly, if this is going to be kind of you giving in, or this is going to be the group, the other, whoever they are, righting the wrongs that they've done. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of love, a lot of meaning and purpose, a lot of just joy and affection that comes at the other end of this. Okay. And this really could be you connecting with your own emotions again, because I feel like at the beginning, with this Eight of Cups, you kind of have detached from your emotions a little bit. And you're just looking at this as a very serious, very stoic or business-like professional kind of thing, and you're kind of cut off from how you feel. Excuse me. I think through this whole process, you're going to reconnect with how you really feel. And maybe it's not going to be all joy and laughter, but you're going to feel better internally, because now you've accepted how you feel, and you've either let go of it and forgiven, and things are moving on, but at least you're not cut off from the emotions anymore. So even if you still feel slighted, or you still feel disrespected, I feel like you're coming back around full circle to the emotional state. I think that the emotions, how these people made you feel, that's the really important thing. Okay? And I feel like through all of this, we're coming back to how you feel. And hopefully through all of this, how you feel is going to change. And, hopefully some of this negative energy can be transformed or sublimated into a more positive experience. But that's not guaranteed. Let's look at the mystery card and see. But what I do know is that we've started to cut off from the emotions, but now I think we're going to be reconnecting with them. Okay? So the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, the King of Cups. So this is, this I think is representing you now being, really owning your emotions and going into the future with a really strong connection with your emotions and with how you feel. It's going to be something different next time around than just feeling this disrespect and trying to deny it and yet going after your kind of karmic revenge, I think you're going to own how you feel, and it's going to be something maybe that you can process in a different way so that it doesn't kind of lead to this kind of stalemate situation again. I feel like going into the future, you're going to be more aware of your emotions, and you're going to allow yourself to feel them and not try to detach from them. And when we detach from the emotions, it feels like to me that's when you get a little bit more into this kind of karmic justice mode, where you just kind of want revenge. Rather than acknowledging how you feel and maybe dealing with those feelings, making those feelings known, and just kind of keeping them in the foreground for a time, rather than pushing them aside, I think that you'll have a different dynamic and a different relationship with, let's say, with this group of people in general. But in every situation too. So it's really, I think I feel like it's more about the emotions involved than it is about the actual details, It's about the disrespect that you felt, the trying to kind of cut yourself off from that feeling, and it's almost like it's been channeled into this kind of retribution, this kind of like you're using that as the fuel to maintain this rather hardcore position, and hoping that the group or these other people will fold and buckle before you do, right? So it feels to me like it's a kind of a mismanagement of some of this emotional energy, but I think by the end of it, you're going to reconnect with your feelings, and then going forward, you're going to be much more in tune with those emotions. Anyway, Taurus, thank you for letting me read for you. We're going to do an extended. If you want to check that out, click on the link that's right up there. And again, I apologize for my congestion today. This was your weekly tarot reading for February 12 through 18 on Dove and Serpent Tarot.